can reach everybody just using my Marine Corps voice. So good night, everybody. Thank you for coming out. I'm really happy to have you here. We are standing in the middle of a congressional district, the 18th congressional district, that was drawn by Republicans in Harrisburg to make it impossible for a Democrat to win. But seeing all these faces out here tonight, I think we all know that that game is over, that that's not true anymore. The people of the 18th congressional district did not draw those lines on those maps, and what they want more than anything is someone to go to Washington who's going to be their voice, who's not going to put somebody else's agenda or somebody else's ideology before their own. And that's really the key to getting us out of this mess that we're in when it comes to the bitter partisanship that we're seeing in Washington, D.C. today. And it's fitting, you know, that we had this big visit today at a moment where we're not even sure if we're going to have a functioning government 24 hours from now. I mean, I'm sorry, but in the United States of America in 2018, that's not good enough. It absolutely is not. And the only answer to that is new leadership. People that promise to work together, to reach across the aisle, and to just get things done. We've had enough press conferences. Well, we have these congressional districts that are drawn a certain way to promote extremism, and that's what makes it hard to get everything done. But there's only one answer to that, and it's standing in this room right now. You know, all the super PAC money in the world cannot buy what's happening in the hearts and minds of our people every single day. And you've proven it by coming out tonight and by coming out to all of the events that we've had. The response has been incredible. We had an event last Friday where there was a woman named Norma that came out, and if you've been active in Democratic politics around here, you know exactly who I'm talking about. She's been the committee chairperson out there in Findlay Township forever. She came out and was standing in the back of the crowd, and was I noticed her fidgeting a little bit while I was talking, and I thought it was just, you know, I had reached a new level of boredom and everybody was, you know, just ready to move on to the next thing. But everybody sat down at one point and she didn't, so I went and talked to her after and said, Norma, you know, what's going on? Something doesn't seem right. Well, she had slipped on the ice outside of her house and broken 3 of her ribs. And she didn't want to take the opiate painkillers that they were giving her, so she was just suffering through it the old-fashioned way. Everybody has somebody like that in their family. But she wasn't going to miss that event for us last Friday, and she's not going to miss any day of this campaign because she wants more than anything to march next to a Democratic congressman in the Findlay Parade this summer. And she's going to make sure she does her part. We've seen the same response all over this district, and the thing that has struck me the most is nobody wants to be recognized for it. Everybody just wants to pitch in and do their part. You know, it reminds me of one of my favorite stories, which is that when the World War II Memorial was built in Washington, D.C. Back in the 1990s, everybody knew about President Clinton and Bob Dole and how they worked together and got that done. But not everybody knows that the person who was in charge of actually building that memorial was a man named Jim McCloskey. And Jim was in his construction trailer one night, and somebody came to the door. It was a World War II veteran who had driven for 2 days across the country by himself. And when he got to the door, he handed Jim his dog tags from World War II. And he said, hey, I would just really like it if you would bury these underneath one of the pillars in the World War II memorial. You know, didn't want a plaque, no name, nothing special. Just wanted him to bury those dog tags right there under the pillar so they'd be there forever. And in fact, several veterans came to the memorial that year and did the exact same thing. And if you've ever served, if you've ever been part of something bigger than yourself, you know exactly what that story means with no explanation. Well, between now and March 13th, we're going to show the world what that means, because the people that are in this room, I know, are approaching this election the same way. Everyone's going to do their part, everyone's going to knock doors, everyone's going to make phone calls, and there's nothing that all the dark money in the world can do to change that. So thank you for coming out. I'm going to honor your support. All right, let's get to work.